for Super C, we have progressive achievements for each area of dying, boss, and single player mode without jumping using the extra life code. Clear area 2 without going backwards or using the extra life. Sounds hard. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, this should be somewhat of a challenge. I'm actually looking forward to it at this time. I wanted to do short games, but I also wanted to do more challenging games as well. Super C was a natural choice for me. I grew up with the game and wanted to play this for retro achievements, especially when you could see the reaction I had to the retro achievements to earn. The retro achievement set was made by 4 devs, Sir VG, Loden Zark, RGA, and Salsa, which seems to be retired. This set had a revision, and I missed out on retro achievements that were supposedly really difficult. That is a shame, but it looks like there are still challenging ones left. I don't think I can one-shot this game, but I can sure try. Also, there are differences between the Japanese and US versions, one of which is being able to use level select, which is only in the Japanese version. It goes without saying, I played the Japanese version. With all of that said, let's see how I fare in Super C.
I'm on a journey to master every game I can in retro achievements. It takes a lot of time to master and edit them. If you like these videos, then please subscribe. There are many more to come, and I don't shy away from difficult games.
There's quite a bit I can go over, but not a whole lot I need to go over with the retro achievements here. I do get a retro achievement for getting the spread gun. I also get retro achievements for being the boss without jumping, being the area, and being the area without losing a life. Each level has 2 retro achievements, being them and without losing a life. So I beat area 2 without losing a life and get 2 more retro achievements. Now on level 3, I'm trying to ride the machine from one side to another. It doesn't work. The problem was that I have to touch each side of the screen while on the robot. That is such a pain. I also lose a life. This means I can't get the Deathless achievement. I also failed to hold right during the earthquake, so I just beat the boss, get the retro achievement, and move on to the next level. In Area 4, I want to get the one retro achievement that forces me to climb up only the right side. I thought this meant only jumping up the right side. To clarify, it means you can't ever be on the left side of the screen. So there goes that achievement for now. When I make it to the boss, there is a special retro achievement to get. I have to destroy the lasers in the middle before the ones on the ends. Doing this with a pea shooter is very annoying. I do get that and beat the area. No Deathless though. I simply beat the boss of Area 5 and make it to Area 6. I simply defeat the boss and get the achievement for it. I did try to get the other achievements and failed. Now on level 7, I'm not going for anything special, just being the area. I'll get back to the others. I do have the laser gun though. That means that I should at least attempt to defeat the boss with it. So I do that and it results in failure. I beat the boss and gain an achievement anyway. Now in Area 8, I'm thinking I can get through it. This is my downfall though. I take many losses and need to start all over from the beginning. Now for some unique retro achievements. The one that I go for next is to get up to the 4th slope without shooting. This is a problem. I take death after death. You can manipulate where enemies are shooting, but that is only part of the issue. This results in a lot of jumping. For the most part, I learned just enough to make it through narrow spaces. Just having bullets and enemies almost graze the character. The plan when the barriers are up is to just damage boost through and hope to get to the slope. With enough effort, I finally get the retro achievement, Gun Hurling Champion. Then, I take a death. With Area 2, I can't look back even once. I can go left, I can go right, I can go up, but never backwards.
We must move forward, not backward, upward, not forward.
So what do? This guy here shows up and my reaction is to shoot him. Amazing. I at least am able to get a Deathless in Area 3 to make up for it. It's not a total loss. As with most areas, if you go at a decent speed and take your time, it isn't so bad at all. Having the spread gun works wonders here to get past everything. It's just an overall amazing gun. So much so that I get through Area 4 easily and without a death, getting me another achievement. Nothing spectacular happens in Area 5, and in Area 6 I at least try to figure out how to get through the area without taking a hit. Same with Area 7. Nothing big to report. It's not until I get to Area 8, the final area, where big things happen. So, there are some neat stuff in the level. If you play carefully and have the spread gun, then this should be much easier. I make it to the final boss of the game, shoot 30 objects while being on top of the head, get hit, and defeat the boss with a pea shooter. For beating the game, I get the Red Falcon's Poison Palace and Super Ace Soldier Retro achievements. That is everything for the first run. I have to do a second loop right after. Now here's the thing, nothing really changes, so just enjoy it. In the first area, grab the machine gun, then get the spread when you're able. Defeat the boss. Now, since I'm in the second loop and have the spread gun in Area 2, it is time to try for the No Looking Back achievement. To easily get this, you want the spread gun at the start of the game. Almost nothing can touch you. Inch your way up, as boring as it sounds. Then when you're at the tanks, make sure to destroy them as quickly as possible. If you position yourself well, then you'll be able to get through the area easily. When you make it to the turrets, you can shoot and run up to get an item to destroy all enemies. Once on the bridge, inch up a little bit to destroy both red enemies, then rush up to the door and destroy it. Move up a little bit more and inch your way to the boss. Move left and right when you can, sometimes needing to push up ever so slightly. The spread gun should defeat the enemies quickly. With all that done, enjoy your new retro achievement. Tough guys don't look back. Now in Area 3 again, I figure I should at least try not to get hit by enemies or defeat any for the achievement. So what I do is take my time. Ducking in water avoids enemies and bullets. Once you finally make it on land again and pass the enemy laying down, the achievement pops. Back in Area 4, I get a little... well, let's just say I wanted to farm for lives. I was a bit nervous that I wouldn't be able to complete a second run, so I sat here with the machine gun and sped the game up. Cheap, I know, but whatever. I got to about 500,000 points, then decided to leave. That should be plenty for what I need. You get points by defeating enemies and lives by getting so many points. Nothing eventful will happen until Area 8. At this point, I took so many hits, even got stuck in the area where the ceiling happens to drop down a bit. I did manage to make it to the boss and defeat him easily though. This gets me the Can't Get Enough retro achievement. Now I can finally go for the other achievements, so that is the goal. In Area 5 I finally get Deathless. I do the same for Area 6, but I needed some practice. I got down around and pause buffering. Once you make it to the barrage of enemies coming from the sides, if you hold up and go to the side they will always miss you. I barely eke by and get the retro achievement for not defeating any enemies up to the boss. Back in Area 5, I climbed to the peak without defeating enemies to get Peak Triggered Discipline. It's easier than it sounds. I immediately fail the next achievement and restart, so I get back to that point. This time I take my time and make it through. This gets me the Come On Down Everybody retro achievement. Now back in Area 6, I need Deathless. So with my spread gun, I get through the area pretty easily and finally rip this boss a new one to get the Unscratched Shock Trooper achievement. I carefully make my way through Area 7. I say carefully because I use the spread gun. When don't you use that weapon, right? Anyway, I need this gun. So destroying enemies is pretty easy, even when you make it down to the area where there are enemies coming out of the plants, which are easily destroyed. I make it to the boss and it goes pretty well since all you have to do is stand in the center and shoot up to destroy everything, including the boss. Easy strat for the Certified Hazmat Operative retro achievement. Deathless in Area 8 was a little bit of a pain, but thanks to level select I didn't have to worry too much about only having 3 continues and repeatedly needing 25 minutes to get back there, so I figured out how to do this easily. For a note, you can either get the spread gun from Area 7 or you can just do it raw and get the spread gun in Area 8. To save time, I just figure out how to do everything within Area 8. This gets me the Pure Lethal Antidote retro achievement. After that, it is back to Area 2. Why? Because I need to defeat a boss with the laser, and I need to defeat the boss of the area only having defeated the green guy. I make it to the boss to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and...
Gosh damn it.
looks like I will be doing that later. I defeat the boss and get the Chain of Command Execution retro achievement. I make it to the earthquake area and I try to hold right only, but it looks like a major fail. I start over, get back there, get the retro achievement Earthquake Drill, and immediately take a hit. Back in Area 4, I climb up to the top and miss this achievement again. Couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, but I know now. I went to the left side of the screen. Sad times. This time I make sure to be on the right side at all times though, and the retro achievement, The Right Way Up, finally pops. Back to Area 6, I need to defeat the snake monster before even hitting the boss in its second phase. I actually narrowly avoided hitting him, then defeated the snake. This got me the Save the Beast for Last achievement. Remember how I failed to beat a boss with the laser? Well, I have a plan. I go to Area 3, get the laser, make my way carefully to the boss, and then carefully defeat it. I can finally be at peace after getting the Spreads Got Competition is out of the way. There are 3 retro achievements to get in Area 7 still. I can't defeat any runners, which should be easy.
No!
Well, reacting in this game sucks sometimes. A few tries later, I finally get it though. The Egg Room Escort retro achievement is done. Now just get through without defeating the hatchlings.
Oh, you suck.
Easier said than done. I'm stubborn though. Fortunately, a few tries later I also make it through. You can afford to lose a few lives. I did come in with a plan. If you are very diligent and do your homework, it's not so bad to make it to the boss. Most of the plants can be destroyed from above, and where you stand helps a lot. At the final part, I didn't know what to do since they come from left and right, so I took a hit and spawned in the center. I then went down to get the Save the Facehuggers retro achievement. With 37 retro achievements earned and over 4 hours into stream, at this point I decided to call it a day. I did try to do Deathless against the boss of Area 7 with the pea shooter, but it didn't work out. I think I have an idea of what to do, but I'm not certain it is foolproof. Hopefully I can get the last of the achievements in the next stream. The first thing I want to do is go for Deathless with the pea shooter on the Area 7 boss. Unfortunately, this takes a while. After many tries in 45 minutes, I finally come up with the plan and the run. At the start, grab the machine gun. From there, you'll carefully take out all the enemies until you have to go all the way down by destroying the small green substances. They look like eggs. Bad, rotten eggs. Once you get to the bottom, you'll want to collect the spread gun on the right. Now, just make it to the last part where you are in between 2 hatchlings. Let one hit you and jump down. Since you were defeated, you have the pea shooter and weren't hit in the boss room. For the boss itself, simply stay in the center. Shoot up until the center is destroyed. Angle your gun downwards to the right and left while shooting to take care of the purple blobs. Repeat. When the center is completely destroyed, then do the same for the skull. Don't be too intimidated by the spikes that can potentially follow you. Instead, shoot the one in the center and continue on like you were, angling your gun downwards left and right. They should never hit you. I would say jump, but this is so restrictive. You cannot jump at all or it is void. So this is the best option I can come up with. The boss goes down and I get the Rooted Rifleman retro achievement. The next big achievement was in Area 8. You can't let a single alien go from one side of the screen to another. Before I go to Area 8 though, I have to go to Area 7.
Are you in or are you out?
What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out.
Okay, well then I'm out.
I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Okay, so you don't necessarily have to do this, but I did. I wanted the spread gun before I attempted too many times. I get the spread gun and it makes it so much easier to defeat everything here. Focus on slowly going through it and knowing what is coming up. The spread will defeat anything floating towards you and damage enemies, so be patient. That is until you make it up the slope. Just go up to the enemy and time these jumps to avoid them. Also make sure to get rid of the aliens that are running. Now at the last part, the ceiling falling down. I'd say be patient, but you kind of have to know good positioning. The problem I had was just that. I need timing and positioning. Trying to do this carefully as I can, I finally made it through. Run up to the boss room and the retro achievement You Shall Not Pass is acquired.
You shall not pass!
Since I'm at the boss as well, I jump on top of the head, destroy 30 of whatever those things are, and finally defeat the boss. This gets me the Grand Finale Fireworks achievement. With 3 retro achievements to go, what could they be? Well, there is only one big one left. Play through the entire game with just the pea shooter. I call it the pea shooter. People familiar with the game call it a pea shooter. It's a pea shooter. Obviously, the game can be beaten with it, and it's not so different from a machine gun. The first area is pretty simple. You have targets you can take your time with, so don't worry so much about advancing fast. In fact, don't worry about advancing quickly in all the areas. Area 2 is a bit more precise, but manageable. Area 3 is much the same, but when I make it to Area 4, I decide to do a little farming for points. I hit about 130,000 points before continuing because it is very boring. Note that you don't need to do this since you have continues, but the safety net was important enough to me. Area 5 is simple enough. Area 6 is just as easy. It is Area 7 that may cause some issues, so, you know, I have some plans. Make sure to try and not shoot any of the power-ups this run. When I made it to this area, I almost grabbed one. That would have been miserable. The first half isn't really worth mentioning, but the second half is. Again, you can angle your weapon and jump in various ways to do damage in a safe place and from afar. Keep this up until you make it to this location. Shoot for a while, then jump and shoot. Continue to do that. On the next layer, you'll want to face to your right or left and shoot. Then when they're about to hatch, you can shoot at an angle upwards to both of them. Repeat and congrats. That should give you some relief before the boss. Speaking of the boss, you'll be doing something similar to what I did last time, but this time I can jump. So get in the center, aim up, shoot, then jump when necessary. I lost a life, but it works really well. It was just a simple mistake on my part. Now in Area 8, you'll want to take things nice and slow. Don't worry about much else than not getting hit by anything and making sure everything is getting defeated. Don't grab power-ups and you'll soon find yourself at the place where the ceiling drops again. I hate this part of the area so much. Once there, just keep going right. You'll get those bubbles to disappear. If not, you can destroy whatever's left before you jump and the ceiling drops. It's here where you have to manage quite a bit. I didn't manage so well. Sucked to see my lives drain down to none. I was at the end of that part though, so I managed to make it to the boss room. The boss appears, I make sure that it is fully spawned, go up to it and do the damage. You can just keep shooting at it in this angle. Then you can aim up to destroy any of the falling debris. Continue doing this. Before long, the boss is defeated and I finally have this almost legendary retro achievement, Super Gunless. Satisfying. I haven't mastered it yet though. I put in a simple code for the sound test. Simply hold A and B together, then press start. Next is for 30 lives. In the Japanese version you need to push right, left, down, up, A, B, then start. It's the same for the US version, but you get 10 lives. With that, I had the mastery. That feels good. Super C is a really fun game. The set is pretty fun as well. What I thought would be really annoying wasn't all that bad, not compared to what I have been through. Granted that this set would be more of a pain if I didn't do the Japanese version, which is the one I recommend using for this set. If you do play the US version for the set, let me know how it went. I just didn't want to spend 25 minutes to retry for some of the retro achievements. There is a lot of replayability added. I still can't help but wonder what achievements were there previously before the revision, but as it stands now, it is in a pretty good place. I really did enjoy it, even if it didn't push me as hard as others did. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below.